Hello Power Rangers Lightning Collection fans, and welcome back to Lightning Storm, the series where lightning always strikes twice as we talk about everything that's happened in the past week for the Power Rangers Lightning Collection. We don't have a lot. We don't have a lot to talk about this week, but that is to be expected because, not even 2 weeks ago we had the biggest fan stream ever, so it's not, out of the realm of possibility for there to be a relatively light week. But we still have some interesting things to talk about nonetheless, and I did get a couple of comments asking me to sort of recap where we're at, what's still left on the leak list out there. So I'm going to be recapping that here today, as well as just the general news for the week. So let's go ahead and get right on into it. So first up for this week here, we have a little deal I want to talk about. I do sometimes try to talk about Lightning Collection deals here on Lightning Storm, but sometimes they're just kind of random, or they're like one-day sales at BBTS, or they're just kind of like all over the place, and I don't really want to dedicate a lot of time to them. But this one I want to talk about in particular because I thought it actually is somewhat relevant to what some people might want to do, and that is SPD Green is currently on sale for $14.98, and there will be an Amazon affiliate link to him in the description below. And the reason why I'm talking about him specifically, because there are other figures on sale right now, at least the last time I checked, like Dino Fury Red, and I think Zeo Yellow, and In Space Pink. But the reason why I'm talking about SPD Green specifically is that some people might want to get an extra one for their collection if they wanted to make J.J. Oliver from the Soul of the Dragon comics. Now, I actually made a custom one of those a couple of years ago. I did a whole dedicated video about that. But since the remastered Red Ranger figure is going to be coming out with a Dragon Shield that is removable, some people are going to maybe want to get an extra SPD Green to have a JJ on display if they bought multiple remastered Reds or whatever they want to do with it. So I figured if there was any time, that you want to pick one up for your collection to make that, now's probably the time while it's on a pretty good sale on Amazon. Next up for this week here, we have a pretty weird story that annoys me a good amount, and I also think is relatively funny. So, you might remember, last week I was talking about the Cobra Kai figures, and I had a whole little segment about it where I specifically talked about the promo shot, and how when they had Johnny and Miguel on the table, they had like zoomed in renders compared to the promo shots of the original 3 figures that had shown the renders being like a full body shot, and there was that weird inconsistency where the promo shots of Johnny and Miguel had Johnny with like the same kind of like full body render that matched the other 3, and Miguel had a zoomed in one. Well, you see, fun fact, and I can just attribute this to the fact that I have cared so little about the Cobra Kai figures that I had never noticed this, but I'm not the only one because nobody commented that. I'm pretty sure I have not seen a single comment about how wrong I was in that scenario, or in that story, so that really goes to show just how popular these Cobra Kai figures are, or just packaging for Lightning Collection in general. I know it's a pretty small group of people who really care about the small details of packaging. I really do. And my buddy John Green, who runs lightningcollectors.com, he also definitely noticed because he DM'd me a picture last weekend that showed an in-store finding of the white and the pink Rangers from this collaboration, where Daniel had a zoomed-in render and Samantha had a full-body render. And I was like, wait, no, there's no way that there are 2 versions of these figures on the market, right? There's no way that they are selling zoomed-in render ones and full-body render ones. Yeah, they are. So on eBay, I went there and I found a couple different listings. Some that showed a full-body render version of Daniel, some that showed a zoomed-in version of Samantha, so the inverse of what that picture that John sent me was, and I was like, hold on, no way, you can't gaslight me into believing that there's actually 2 variants of this. And then I went to Lightning Collector 2021's review from a couple weeks ago. All 3 of them, zoomed in box renders compared to the promo shots that showed them with full body ones. And then I went, no, hold on, I literally covered Cobra Kai in episode 200 when Vaughn found it in stores. He found the ones that were advertised. No, I go to his video clip from a couple weeks ago, he found zoomed in Daniel ones. And I'm sitting here like, what? What is happening? So I had no idea. I had no idea that the ones that were already released, some of them, were also not matching the promo shots for them. So there actually is zoomed in body render shots and full body render shots of all of these figures. From what I can tell, the most common ones seem to be the zoomed in renders in the case of Daniel and the Skelly Putty, but I think the most common ones are the full body render in the case of Samantha. And since Johnny and Miguel aren't out yet, I have no idea. But so I really do not understand how this happens at all. Like, this doesn't make any sense to me. These should all be from like the same production batch from the same factory or something, like, especially because, like, the two different variants of the renders are on the pegs next to each other, so, like, does that mean I'm going to track down both versions of them? Do I even need to ask the question? Because you know I'm going to. So I'm the person who tracked down 5 Lunar Wolf Rangers, remember? So I'm definitely doing this. However, I already don't want these figures a first time. I vehemently refuse to buy them a second time. So what I'm going to do for this case is just whichever versions I find on clearance first, those will be the ones that I buy and open up. And then from there, I'm just going to hopefully graciously ask my audience and followers if they will sell me the opposite version of the boxes. The only case of that, to where I'll make an exception, is the Skelly Putty. I will legitimately try to find 2 of those, 1 for each box style, because I do actually kind of want multiples of that, because it is like an army builder in this line, and I do like the look of that figure. So in that case, I'm fine with it, but no way am I actually going to buy 2 Johnnies, 2 Miguels, 2 Samanthas, and 2 Daniels. I don't know. Let me know down in the comments below which versions you found, which ones, if you own them, did you even look? Did you even know? Probably not. So which versions do you have? Why? Why? And all of that brings us to the updates on the leak charts, or just kind of going over the leak chart. So, yeah, the fan stream a couple weeks ago really did clear most of this off the chart here. So, I'm going to go ahead and show you right now what it looked like pretty much right after the fan stream, or pretty much the week of Once and Always, essentially. The first one was the yet to be announced by Hasbro, which of course includes the Turbo Invisible Phantom Ranger figure. This one is really, really weird, one of those really strange cases to where it still has not been officially acknowledged by Hasbro that it exists. We still don't know how or when or where this is being released in the US. So I don't know what's going on with that one. So that's why it's on a leak list, because it is still technically a leak. And then we have accessories photo leak, yet to be revealed figure. And that's that spin sword accessory for an unknown Samurai Ranger figure. And this one has been so strange to me, so very strange, because I really don't know what this is for. I still don't even 100% know if this is even a Lightning Collection leak. Now, why would I question that? Well, I don't know why. Like, it looks like it probably would be legitimate. It was from this one picture that one of my sources sent me back in February that had a bunch of Hasbro accessories around it and a spin sword there. So I'm going to put a pin in that one right now. We're going to, of course, keep it on the leak list, but until I actually get a Samurai Ranger name given to me by any one of my sources, or we see something from Hasbro, there could be some slight reason to, like, be a little skeptical about this picture, though I do still think it probably is for Lightning Collection. We just don't know with who. And then we have actual products that have been leaked by myself, and that is the Yellow Ranger helmet, the Omega Ranger 4-pack, and then the Boom Studios figure assortment that they're doing. So with Morpher not probably one of those. So these are things that I've talked about, you know, multiple times. There is a Yellow Ranger helmet in the works. That is the next helmet that they're going to be making. I really thought that they would have revealed that by now, especially with the Power Daggers and Power Morpher being a thing already. And with the Yellow Ranger having such a focus on Once and Always, I really thought we would have saw it at the last fan stream. So I don't know what's holding this one up in particular, but it is the next one. So I don't know what, I don't know what's holding this one up, but it is something that we should be getting in 2023. I just don't know when. And then we have the 4 mysterious Boom Studios figures that I really genuinely have no idea who they are. I have heard that a Morphonaut figure was in the works, whether that is one and the same and became Invisible Phantom, or that actually is a separate thing from Invisible Phantom. I really don't know. As far as I know, there's supposed to be 2 distinct figures, Invisible Phantom and Morphonaut, you know, getting both uses out of that mold that they still could use. Then we have that really weird Zap Tigerzord leak from Raphael on Twitter that came from that Brazil Hasbro presentation back in November. That was a long time ago. That was half of a year ago, and we still haven't seen this, which is very, very odd, because it's been, you know, it's now been half a year since we've even seen a Zap reveal at all with Astro Megazord. Now, this could be for any particular reasons. I don't know if maybe Zap is just not doing so well. I would imagine it's probably not. I don't know. Like I said, it could be the Sun City listing, that mysterious one. It very well could be that. I don't know, maybe if they're going to wait closer to the anniversary to show it or something. I imagine that by sometime over the summer they would probably want to show it. If not, most certainly by like PulseCon in the fall or something. But that's just something that is coming. I just don't know when they're going to show it. And to that same vein, we have the Illuminarities leak of the Master Morpher, which is my most anticipated Lightning Collection item, besides the Omega Ranger 4-pack that's in the works. So excited for this thing. This is really going to be incredible. I've heard a lot of really amazing things about this thing. Everything that you want this to be, from what I understand, it's probably going to be that. So the coins that you want, there's going to be 6 of them. I've kind of hinted at what 6 coins those are going to be, so keep that in mind. And if you're wondering why there's 6 coins, think of everything that Tommy has access to. So that's all I'll say with that front. But I've heard very, very incredible things about the packaging for this thing, for the look of this thing. I haven't seen any pictures of it yet. That's what I'm super, super excited to see, but this is going to be a must-buy. You're definitely going to want to pre-order this whenever it does happen. And then finally on this list, we just have Wild Force Red and a bunch of old listings that are definitely not coming out. So those are listings from 2021. Sometimes in this line, things get shuffled around because sometimes listings leak so far in advance that the product gets canceled or gets reshuffled into something else, and the product listing still just kind of lingers around. Doesn't mean that it's ever going to come out. Just because product listings leak don't mean that they're ever going to actually release. More often than not, they actually will come to full fruition, but sometimes they don't. And Wild Force Red is another one of those things where the character has leaked. It was supposed to be the first Battleizer figure. I personally, the last time I heard about it, it was not in active development for the last couple of months. And then Illuminati put that article out, which made me think that it was back on. But now I'm thinking it's back off because it was supposed to be with Minotaur, and now Rita's with Minotaur in Deluxe Wave 4. So I don't think things are looking great for him, unfortunately. And those listings that I mentioned from 2021, those are absolutely not happening at this point, probably. Or if they are, since we never decoded what they were, maybe they've already happened and we just don't know it. Or if they do happen, they'll probably be under a different product number and a different code name, so it doesn't even matter anyway. But just for the sake of completion's sake, I put them on the list anyway. Now, you might have noticed I skipped a listing back when I talked about the listings yet to be decoded, and that's because there was one listing, PRG Woodland, and I talked about this being another deluxe price point thing. However, I've seen new evidence, and I'll show you guys the evidence in a second, that this is probably not Lightning Collection at all. So I was wondering if it was actually going to be Lightning Collection. It had the price point of a deluxe figure, like I just said, but it didn't have DLX in the code name. It was just Woodland. Now, there is something else that is price point at deluxe for the Power Rangers toy line, and that's Morphers. And the reason why I'm starting to plant the seeds with that is that there was one website actually that did put up a listing for Woodland, and in the product with it, with the number and barcode number and everything, it lists that it takes batteries. It's not completely impossible for a Lightning Collection figure to take batteries. We've seen that happen already in the past with Zordon, but I really don't think that that's probably the case here. And my best guess, this is probably actually the Cosmic Fury Morpher. So the picture I'm showing you guys right now is actually a custom 3D model of one that was circulating around Twitter this week, which actually looks pretty cool. I will be leaving a link to that in the description below if you want to check that out. But that's not what the official design for this Morpher looks like. It's just kind of what people are sort of guessing based off the pictures of it that we do have, or the slight angles of it that we do have. But my personal prediction is that Woodland is actually probably the Cosmic Fury Morpher and not a Lightning Collection figure, so I've removed it from this leak list for further notice, which is why there's now this updated leak list. And that all brings me to one last thing. One brand new thing, kind of. It's not... Well, I mean, I would say it's exciting, because it's definitely getting me in a better mood, but it's not like a super crazy piece of information. And that is I have received confirmation for multiple reasons that the Lightning Collection is continuing in 2024. I know that doesn't seem like some groundbreaking news, but if you've been watching more recent episodes of Lightning Storm, I've even seen comments where people were like, I feel like Josh knows what the line is ending, but he can't tell us. And that's not true necessarily. I just wasn't hearing good things. And especially since there is not going to be a Power Rangers season in 2024, they're taking a year off at least for production. Because they're trying to get the reboot off the ground. There is no season 31 that we know of right now, and there very likely isn't going to be one. So that got me worried about, are they still going to continue the toys even if there's no show? There's no reason why they wouldn't do that. There's also no reason why they shouldn't do that. They very well should do that. But I have received confirmation that if you were wondering if we were getting further waves after Wave 15, we are. We are going to get a Wave 16, a Wave 17, at least that, I think. But here's the thing. No idea who they are at all. I haven't heard a single character list for any of that. I haven't heard even a character suggestion. Well, I've heard character suggestions, but I haven't heard, any kind of concrete evidence of, who could be in these waves. I also don't know if these waves are going to be 3 figures, if they're going to be 4 figures. They're probably going to be 2024 waves. I'm personally not expecting Wave 16 in 2023, especially with the October release date for the Wave 15 figures. So we're probably going to be waiting a long time before we see another wave, even in the leak departments. But as I mentioned here today with some stuff, maybe there is figures that are coming out in that wave. Maybe there is a Samurai Ranger in that wave. That's my only guess right now, is possibly a Samurai Ranger because of that accessory leak. But time will tell. I'm still trying to figure out information about that. I'm still trying to figure out information about Wave 16. And we're kind of trying to get the ball rolling again here, because we don't have too much left on the leak list. We still have some exciting stuff, like I just covered. Master Morpher, Tagazord, Helmet, Omegas, all that kind of stuff. But we are dwindling down about what we know about. But then again, these are leaks. We're not supposed to know about this stuff anyway, ever. So maybe they're working on a bunch of stuff that we just don't know about, it's how it's supposed to be. That is how it's supposed to be. We're not supposed to know about this stuff yet. So I don't know. We'll just see how it goes, but that's where we're at right now. Alright, and with that, that's going to do it for this week's episode of Lightning Storm. Of course, until next time, I'd love to know your guys' thoughts about anything down in the comments below that I talked about. And of course, you guys can follow me on Twitter at LivingRangerKey or LightningFigPR. And I'll see you all in Lightning Storm. This is your lightning, always strikes twice. To wrap up this video, I'd like to thank my $5 and above patrons: Jurassic Samurai, Maggot Alchemist, Robert Browning, Static Thunder, Brendan Overland, Maji Yellow, Redstone MCPC, Comics 1017, James Darty, John Luke, Eric Berry, Tyler Bezetsky, Matthew Thorne, Josh Landry, Pyramidas, CPT Tesla, Cross SCV, Caboose Ed, Socket Monsters, Anthony Love, Daniel Pika, and Hella Geo. You can support Toku Topics for as little as $1 a month on my Patreon, linked in the description below.